Hey guys, how's it going? Hey Dragon Mama. Hey Cool Gamer. So I do have a little bit left of this book. Um, so for Appendix B, uh, the writer did include the Hodel hypothesis, which was Stephen Hodel's father, who he claimed had actually unalived the Black Dahlia. But that was proven that it actually wasn't so. So George is his name, and he is an awful person. Hey, Great Dane. He's done some things that are just disgusting. There's like a bunch of notes here. Oh, is that it? I thought there's more. Hey, Kara. So I'm gonna look for some see what there is on the tube anyways. On the tube, on YouTube of the Black Dahlia. Sorry, I'm distracted. I was just watching a video on YouTube and it was about one of the psychiatric hospitals that are near me and it's been abandoned. I heard it was closing down. I don't know why they did that. Because there's actually someone from there, um, that is a serial killer, and I actually met him on a bus, not knowing, of course, at the time. Now that I know who he is, because he changed his name, I believe he's, out, unless he's in the hospital, in the psychiatric ward that they made, or they didn't even make it, they just threw them up there. I have to get into that sometime, so I was just I don't know, I'm just distracted. Not that. Hey, Tammy. Hey, SD. His last name was Kruger, but he changed it, and I can't remember what the hell he changed it to. But I do wanna get into that. I just have to remember. It's weird, a lot of people are doing the Black Dahlia lately. Like, there's a channel here that did this, yesterday. Huh. Oh, that's why I don't know who the hell they are. It's in Hindi. Oh, yeah, here's the one on Dr. Phil. So I don't know, I'm just gonna, read through what I have left here, which isn't much. Really, Tammy? Well, I didn't even know. I was writing like I was living in Brockville. This is before I had my son. So I was only like I was in my early 20s and I remember riding this bus to work all the time. I had to because I lived downtown, my work was uptown. And there's this guy on this bus and it would pick people up at the psych ward. And I'm like, "Seriously?" I remember the first time I was on that bus, and, there's a reason why when you get a nice lady on the bus and they tell you, like, "Don't talk to strangers and keep your hands to yourself and don't look at anyone," that was why. I didn't realize that until we had to pick up people at the psych. I was pissed off and scared. I'm like, "Are you serious? Wow, why are these people running around doing whatever the hell they want?" Then I find out that the one that's been staring at me every morning on this bus was a friggin' serial killer. Like, wow. The other one, he, actually killed his mother. He cut her head off, and he used to go to the mall where I lived, and go for ice cream every day at Laura Secords. Yeah, my son's nanny met him. Like, it's just crazy how these people are just allowed to walk around, and then they closed down the psych ward, and now, from what I understand, it's overcrowded in the upstairs hospital. So, basically, they were sent out on the street. I don't even know. I haven't heard any follow-up on that, but that freaks me out. Like, where is this guy? He shouldn't even be out. He should be in jail. Yeah, I did watch it already, Tammy, and it was like, I don't know, but I read this book that I have in my hands, and it's saying that I guess it's just not true. It was proven that he wasn't, but he really believed it was. Right, Kara? That is the Canadian justification. It's bull crap. It's not fair. It really isn't. Like, that scares me. So now I'm in a different area, so I don't use the bus at all. I don't need to. I'd rather walk. No thanks. Well, what happened was I ended up seeing, it's the Brockville Psychiatric Hospital. I ended up seeing on YouTube, it was on TV, and they were showing all the people that were in there who were serial killers and who this one killed their mom and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and they're allowed out on the street. Oh yeah, I watched a documentary. It scared the crap out of me. I'm like, here I am riding on the bus, like dee 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 dee, trying to save money. Wow, never again. All right, so now we're on. This is not very long at all, so we can watch that show after. So this is called the Hodel hypothesis. In the investigative nonfiction books published about the Black Dahlia case, two authors accused their fathers of being the pathological killer. And Daddy was the Black Dahlia killer. That came out in 1995. Janice Knowlton offers no concrete evidence of her father's guilt and relies on flashbacks of repressed childhood memories. I didn't know there was another one. Hey, Mama 3. Oh my God. You have got actually, uh, I believe it. Anything's possible. Wow. Okay, so here's a new one accusing her father of being the Black Dahlia killer, Janice Knowlton, but it was just flashbacks. Okay. So she insists that while undergoing therapy, she recalled witnessing the murder of Elizabeth Short by her father when she was a child, and she vividly recalls for the reader every minute detail, including her father's inner thoughts. She also distinctly remembered that her father, who lacked medical training and or surgical instruments, sawed the body in half with a skill power saw, but that we know not to be true at all. You were told to avoid him at all costs, and he cornered me trying to see if I had my oh my God. So yeah, see that stuff right there shouldn't even happen. Oh, I believe it too. Great Dane mom. Yep. It snowed all last night and yesterday, so there was no school today. And then it snowed again. Well, it's still snowing, so I don't think there'll be any school tomorrow either. Which sucks because it's so cold, and then with the snowing, like I walk everywhere, right? So I'm not gonna be able to go out for a while. That's not good enough for me to you were told to avoid him at all costs. That really upsets me. For anyone that still work there. 7 years later, The Black Dahlia Avenger, that came out in 2003, and this was written by Stephen Hodel. So Steve Hodel claimed that it was his father, George Hodel, who killed the Black Dahlia, not Knowlton's. The author maintains that his father murdered not only Elizabeth Short, but at least 31 other women as well. Once again, however, the evidence is demonstrably unsubstantiated. Yeah, there wasn't enough evidence for either or. I truly believe now that I've read this book that it was all five of those people. Great, where was it now? I know for sure it was Bugsy and it was what's photos? Okay, let's go way back. There they are. So Bugsy, Albert Lewis Greenberg, Jack Anderson Wilson, Maurice Clement, and Dr. C. Adrain. There's a lot of stuff in this book. The LAPD summary of the crime scene and everything. It's hot as insane. Chili curry cook off here. Oh my God. Okay, so his evidence apparently was the two photos found in George Hodel's album that Steve Hodel maintains are pictures of Elizabeth Short. I don't see it. Here, I'm gonna the Black Dahlia, you mean? There's 5 people here that they have there were 5 people in on it, apparently. That's what all the evidence points to. Bugsy, out of all people. He was the one that, cut her face, and the doctor was the one I just mentioned was the one that had cut her in half. I was on a rotation, I was assigned a man who was parent oh my, I wanted to only tell him my first name. They ma What? Now that's some bull crap too. Wow. So, okay, so Steven found these photos and they were in his father's album, and he was claiming that these 2 photos above Elizabeth Short, which I'm gonna show you here, are of, Elizabeth Short. I don't know. I'll put them on my community tab, but I don't see it. Sorry. Mm, they all have their eyes closed, and it doesn't I don't know. I don't think so. It doesn't look like that to me. My glasses are annoying. I know that's why I have my camera on. Okay, so it says here, pictures of Elizabeth Short found among his father's possessions. Steve claims that 2 photos found in his father's album in 1993 are pictures of Elizabeth Short. I don't think they really are. He ended up really liking you? He said his voices liked me for being so quiet. Oh my. I mean, that's good, but that's not. Wow. Sure. Exhibiting them in chapter 4 of the Black Dahlia Avenger, he states, here were 2 photographs, both of vividly beautiful dark haired women. I felt I did know her and had seen her somewhere in the past. Where? What? You would have to. Yeah, I couldn't deal with that. My dumbass ended up going into the Brockville psych when it was actually um, up and running. I was young, I was a kid. I decided that I don't even know how we got in there because we weren't supposed to be in there, but we did get in there, me and 2 other people, and we decided just to go take a look around and see what was going on. Well, I ran into a schizophrenic, and he started chasing me down the hallway, calling me Erica, telling me to come back, and I just, like, froze. I was like, "Oh my god," so I did start running a little bit. They grabbed me, they're like, "We have to go." I was like, "Why would you what?" I was so young, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. They are seldom violent? Really? I always thought they were. Hodel came to the conclusion that the woman in the pictures was the Black Dahlia, and he based the premise of his book on the discovery. To anyone of visual discernment, however, the pictures in George's photo album look nothing like Elizabeth Short. Okay, I'm glad he acknowledges that because it's just not her. Members of her family have come forward with a specific statement that the Hodel photos are not Betty, not even close. And Mary, the author of Childhood Shadows, who knew Elizabeth Short, has confirmed it's definitely not her. In November 2004, CBS aired a segment on 48 Hours about Hodel's claim that his father was a Black Dahlia killer. Okay, keep that in mind. It was on 48 Hours as well. So it aired on 48 Hours about Hodel's claim that his father was a Black Dahlia killer. CBS hired Sonny Chapman, a professional photo identification expert for the New York City Police Department, to examine the photos. Using the E-Fit recognition computer, System for Facial Identification, Chapman examined the 2 questioned photos and compared them with known photos of Elizabeth Short. She concluded that they were not the same person. Chapman states she was 85% certain that these 2 photographs are not of the same woman. Well, I think they're 2 different women myself. I could be wrong. But why are their eyes closed? Does that mean they're not here anymore? Yeah. Like, are these photos of dead women? Hodel was scarcely 5 years old when his mother and father separated in 1994, and many readers have observed that the photos of the woman Hodel recalled having seen somewhere in the past resemble photos of Hodel's mother, Dorothy Hodel, when she was a young woman. Okay. Okay, Exhibit 2, the George Hodel telegram to Elizabeth Short. Oh, shit. It says it's to her, but not who it's from. Says among the items found in Elizabeth Short's memory book was an unsigned telegram sent by admirer in Washington, D.C. to Elizabeth's address in Miami. Although there is no substantiating evidence, O'Donnell maintains that the unsigned telegram was sent by his father in October or November of 1945 when he was studying the Chinese language in Washington, D.C. Upon close examination, however, it's evident that the date of the telegram is July 1994, when his father was residing in Los Angeles. Yeah, there's a date right there. So it's from Western Union. And I'll put these on the community tab so you guys can see them. Hey, Teresa. Okay, his other piece of evidence from Exhibit 3 is the incriminating Man Ray thought print. I don't know what the hell that means. Hodel claims that a Man Ray photo proves that his father murdered the Black Dahlia. His father was a friend of Man Ray when the Surrealists lived in Hollywood during the war, and Dr. Hodel apparently admired his artistry. According to Steve Hodel, the position of the mutilated body of the victim found on Norton Avenue with her arms bent over her head duplicated the pose of Man Ray's The Minotaur, a surreal photo of a nude woman with her arms bent above her head like the horns of the mythological bull. Hodel claims that this is a thought print that proves his father was the killer. That doesn't even make sense. Hey, Benita. That doesn't, yeah. Okay. Anyways, Hodel states, much as I wanted to deny it to myself or look for other possible explanations, I now realize that the facts were undeniable. George Hodel, through the homage he consciously paid to Man Ray, was provocatively revealing himself to be the murderer of Elizabeth Short. Her body and the way she was posed was George Hodel's signature on his own surreal masterpiece, in a still death tribute to his master. However, it is more likely that Elizabeth Short's arms were bent back above her head because her wrists have been tied to the bathtub shower pipes when she was bisected. You always heard that the Man Ray had something to do with it. I never even heard of him. Man Ray. Exhibit 4, it was Dr. George Hodel who sent the paste up notes to the Examiner and the other newspapers. Okay. Steve Hodel employed handwriting expert Hannah McFarland to examine 9 of the notes sent to the Examiner and Los Angeles newspapers. She was asked to compare the handwriting to 9 examples of his father's handwriting. The notes with the handwriting of the alleged killer were labeled questioned documents Q1 through Q9, and Dr. Hodel's handwriting samples were labeled known documents K1 through K9. According to Hodel, McFarland verified that the handwriting on the paste-up notes sent to the newspapers originated with his father, therefore confirming that George Hodel was the Black Dahlia killer. Oh, yes. What can I do for you, miss? Come here. Come on. It's not on the laptop. Seriously? Upon evaluating McFarland's report, however, it becomes clear that the results were inconclusive. Ordway Hilton, author of Scientific Examination of Questioned Documents and the accepted authority among forensic societies and document examiners, maintained that known documents and questionable documents used for comparison must be from the same approximate time frame. Writing habits change gradually, Hilton well, do you mind, tail plucker? Sorry. It's kind of hard to concentrate on getting fit in the face. So he says that writing habits change gradually. Therefore, only material written 2 or 3 years before or after the disputed writing serves as satisfactory standards. But only 2 of the 9 samples of George Hodel's handwriting were near the 1947 date of the questioned documents. Case 6, the known ones were written in 1943. and the canine was written in 1949. Other were written in 1924 and 1998, decades before and after the questioned documents. In addition, reliable documentation examination would utilize originals. Ms. McFarland only had second and third generation photocopies of the questioned documents to work with. Contrary to Hodell's claim that McFarland reported that the handwriting on the pay-stub notes originated with his father, the report merely states that after comparative analysis of the known and questioned documents, that it is highly probable that the printer of the questionable documents and the printed known documents. Okay. However, only the package sent to the examiner containing items from Elizabeth Short's purse were accepted by authorities as originating from the killer. The package had no handwriting on it, nor was it examined by Miss McFarland. Therefore, it is a false assumption to conclude that the 9 notes examined by Miss McFarland were necessarily mailed by the killer. My Great Dane rarely barked. Oh, was it? Can barely read this. Receipt of the first letter containing the personal effects apparently set off a chain reaction among anonymous letter writers. Donahue's mail contained scores of misses, most of them crank letters by amateur sleuths. An expert hired by the examiner at the time claimed that the first 4 notes were sent by the same person. Homicide believed that all the notes that followed may have been hoax notes sent by various hoaxsters. Of the first 4 notes, only one was examined by Miss McFarland to designate note Q1 through Q9 as notes sent by the killer as a fallacy. Only the second note, Q5, which was mailed to the examiner, could possibly be considered to be written by the killer. And in her report, McFarland states, "My opinion of Q5 is inconclusive due to the lack of identifying characteristics in the same samples. Therefore, if one accepts that the second note was actually sent by the killer, the results of McFarland's report are best inconclusive." This is so confusing. It's interesting. I watched the Dr. Phil episode with Steve on it, and these 2 other women went on it. I feel like they went on it for attention. I don't know. That's what it kind of seemed like. I don't know though. I'll have to watch it. So the 48 Hours producers at CBS hired 2 forensics experts to compare the handwriting of George Hodel with the notes allegedly sent to the newspapers by the killer. Both experts concluded there was no evidence that the notes were written by the same person. Wow. So this Hodel thing is just getting shot in the foot. Both experts concluded that there was no evidence. John Osborne, one of the most respected document examiners in the field, stated there is simply not enough evidence to prove one way or another whether his father was the writer or not the writer. Exhibit 5. Between 1947 and 1949, Dr. Hodel brutally murdered Elizabeth Short and 31 other women. Dr. Hodel suddenly returned from China in September of 1946 because he had suffered a serious heart attack, and he was hospitalized in Los Angeles during September and October of 1946. It is not plausible that he would then get out of his hospital bed and proceed to violently murder Elizabeth Short and 31 other women. Wow. I thought he was at least, I don't know, I thought he was like a serial killer. Yeah, maybe. Exhibit 6. The murder took place at the home of Dr. George Hodel on Franklin Avenue in the District of Hollywood. So, based on information leaked from the 1949 grand jury investigation, the Herald Express ran a story on September 13th, 1949, stating that the murder of the Black Dahlia took place in a room that was less than a 15-minute drive from the spot where the bisected body was found. And the room was on one of Los Angeles' busiest streets. Steve Hodel claims that the room was at his father's house in the District of Hollywood, but the district attorney's Black Dahlia files clearly established that the room suspected of being in the scene of the murder was at the Astor Motel, managed by suspect Henry Hubert Hoffman on South Flower Street. This was also confirmed by the Herald Express on September 14th, 1949, in an article that identified the suspected murder site as a South Flower Street motel room. The drive from the Hodel house on Franklin Street takes 25 to 30 minutes, albeit both Dr. Hodel, George Hodel, and Henry Hubert Hoffman were eliminated as suspects by the grand jury investigators, and neither location was involved in the murder of Elizabeth Short. This just confuses me. Yeah, he did. Okay, that makes, yeah, I heard that too, Tammy. That's what these other girls are saying on the Dr. Phil show. These two other girls, apparently their bloodline leads to Dr. Hodel. Um, oh, I can't remember what it was, but it was something to do with, yeah, incest. So exhibit 7. It was George Hodel who accompanied Elizabeth Short when she checked into Mr. and Mrs. Johnson's hotel on January 12th, 1947. That's not true, though, I don't think. It was some other guy. Without offering any evidence, Hodel insists that it was his father, Dr. George Hodel, who was identified by Mr. and Mrs. William Johnson as the man who checked into the Washington Boulevard Hotel with the victim during the missing week prior to the murder. The Johnsons had told the police that Elizabeth Short and a man claiming to be her husband had registered as Mr. and Mrs. Barnes on Sunday, January 12th, 1947, only 2 days before the murder. Hodel states after the detectives showed the Johnsons separate photographs retrieved from Elizabeth Short's luggage, the Johnsons positively identified both the victim and the man who had checked in. And Hodel claims that the man in the photo identified by the Johnsons was his father, Dr. George Hodel. But that's not true because that is not him. This is the missing man that nobody's ever been able to find with Elizabeth right there. And this is the doctor, right? It looks nothing like him. It's not the same guy. This guy looks younger. He's cute too. Yeah, it says right there, the man in the. So says, however, a photograph of the Johnsons examining the photo that detectives used to identify Elizabeth and her companion appeared in the Examiner on January 22nd, 1947, and the man in the photograph is clearly not George Hodel. In addition, the police had discredited the hotel manager's story when the Johnsons described the woman they believed to be Elizabeth Short as having jet black hair. The detectives knew her hair had been um, hennaed. I can't remember how to even say that, but that tangent stuff. And the Johnsons subsequently admitted they had made a mistake. How would you even see like the reddish dye though? I mean, her hair was really black. Maybe it'd be like a tinge. I don't know. The district attorney's Black Dahlia files clearly state that in the follow up investigations, all the supposed sightings of Elizabeth Short during the missing week have been disproved and discredited. The report concludes no one reported seen from January 9th at approximately 10 p.m. until the body was found by Mrs. Bersinger at 10:30 a.m. January 15th has been definitely identified as Elizabeth Short. Jeez, there's a lot of exhibits. 8, 9, 10, 11. Exhibit 8, the black sedan seen at the crime scene on Norton Avenue belonged to Hodel's father. Yeah, I don't think that's true either. That was Greenberg, I thought. Hodel claims that the car spotted leaving the crime scene on Norton Avenue belonged to his father, who was known by the police to drive a post-war black Packard sedan in 1949. Now I'm really interested to watch the episode of Dr. Phil because this is all disproven. However, the car, sorry, referring to the Packard Hodel states this vehicle registered to George Hodel matched the car leaving the Elizabeth Short crime scene the morning of January 15th, 1947. However, the car identified by witnesses at the crime scene was described as a 1936 or 37 black Ford sedan, and on page 153 of the Black Dahlia Avenger, Hodel describes the car seen at the crime scene by witness Bob Meyer as a 1936 or 1937 Ford sedan, black in color. Okay, Exhibit 9. Dr. George Hodel was a prime suspect in the Black Dahlia murder. Dr. George Hodel became a suspect in the Black Dahlia case when he was arrested on a morals charge in October of 1949. At the time of Hodel's arrest, Tamar Hodel, the doctor's 15-year-old daughter, oh my God, is that the daughter, Tammy? What'd you say you got? Somebody says, oh, I love Yankee candles. They smell amazing. Yeah, Dr. Phil, eh? I don't know about him. I used to like him a lot. Now I've never heard of Circle E candles. I want one of the ones with the jewelry in it. So that was the daughter. 15-year-old daughter. Okay, so at the time of Hodel's arrest, Tamir Hodel, the doctor's 15-year-old daughter, told the police that she had been involved in an, oh my God, here it is, incestuous relationship with her father, and he had murdered the Black Dahlia. This occurred just as the Black Dahlia case was about to go before the 1949 grand jury, and the LAPD hoped Dr. Hodel might rescue them from the Dillon catastrophe. Dr. Hodel was placed under close surveillance by the LAPD, and his house was bugged. But after many man-hours of investigation and the interrogation of many witnesses who knew George, it became evident that he was not linked to the crime. At Hodel's trial for incest and immoral behavior, family members testified that his daughter Tamar was a pathological liar. Dr. Hodel was acquitted in December 1949, and it was recommended that Tamar receive psychiatric care. What? Although Steve Hodel claims that the LAPD knew his father and murdered Elizabeth Short, grand jury investigator Frank Jemison's notes clearly established that after an extensive investigation, Dr. Hodel was eliminated as a suspect. Exhibit 10. Dr. George Hodel was a surgeon, and believed homicide believed a surgeon was involved in the murder of Elizabeth Short. Although Steve Hodel claims that his father was a surgeon, his medical records indicate he was a general practitioner. What? Who specialized in the treatment of venereal diseases. Hi, Heavenly Cow. Let's get this party started. Aw, you're cute. He's a pain in the head. Okay, so when his ex-wife Dorothy Hodel, who had known him since the 20s, was asked by the grand jury investigators if her husband had practiced surgery, her response was that he was not a surgeon. Wow, this is whoa. Exhibit 11. Dr. Hodel was the wealthy Hollywood man who was revealed to be a prime suspect in the murder. It was leaked to the press that a wealthy Hollywood man had become a prime suspect and was being questioned by the 1949 grand jury. So the doctor's son, Steve Hodel, maintains that the wealthy Hollywood man was his father, but the district attorney's Black Dahlia files reveal that Dr. Hodel was never questioned by the grand jury, nor was he a wealthy man. Holy shit. Everyone lives too far away. His IQ was really high. Dr. Hodel was undergoing financial reverses in 1949. The newspaper articles about his incestuous relationship with his daughter had destroyed his business, and his trial had been costly. While under surveillance, he was observed selling his belongings at auction. The district attorney's Black Dahlia files clearly established that the wealthy Hollywood man who had become a prime suspect was being questioned by the grand jury was Mark Hansen. Exhibit 12. Shortly after the murder, Dr. George Hodel tried to silence Elizabeth's former Chancellor Apartments roommate, Cheryl Mayland. What? On the evening of January 15th, 1947, only hours after the remains of Jane Doe number 1 had been discovered in Leimert Park, a man entered Bordner's Bar in Hollywood, where Elizabeth Short's former Chancellor roommate, Sherilyn Mayland, was employed. The man was told by the bartender that it was Cheryl's night off. The same man returned the following night and asked to speak to Cheryl. In the Black Dahlia Avenger, Steve claims that the mysterious man was his father. I think he really wants this man, his father, to be the Black Dahlia killer, but he's just not. So Steve Hodel claims the mysterious man was his father. Hodel states George returns to the same bar the next night and meets Cheryl Malin, the ex-roommate of Elizabeth Short, at the Chancellor Hotel, room 501, identifying himself as Clement. Yeah, it was, oh my God, they're two different people. George Hodel informs Cheryl he wants to talk to her about Betty Short. But in the Herald Express interview, Sherry Mayland stated that when the man returned, she refused to talk to him and she left the bar. She described the man as a slight, dapper, olive-skinned man by the name of Clement, and that would have been Maurice Clement. Demonstratively, there's no evidence to support Steve Hodel's claims in the Black Dolly Avenger that his father knew Elizabeth Short or had anything to do with her murder. Wow, that's crazy. Now that I know all this and I read this book, to watch this Dr. Phil show with him in it, it's like, wow. I wonder if he like just really wants his father to be the killer or he's looking for fame. I don't know. I can just because I was going to buy his book until I actually was doing some research on the book that was the truth, you know? And this was the only one that told the truth. Oh, your desk is way better. There's like a lot of not a whole lot, but summary of the crime scene. It's all written really small, so it's hard for me to read. Like really small. I'm gonna play that. They're almost start out. You must be just a drawing away or coloring away. Didn't you just get them for Christmas? It's cool. Sounds very low. Oops. And an all new Dr. Phil. Hey, Patty. The bastard father like that. I wouldn't doubt Steve thought he was a monster like the ones. Yeah, I do agree with that. But you'll see when Steve's on this that the two girls that come forward, it's that just kind of messes me up because I don't know what the now that I know what actually happened and I know like who the murderers were, there was five people. Um, sorry, sorry. So it's kind of weird. Ugh, I don't know. I just had a shower. That's why I don't have any makeup on and I'm just in my jammies. Whatever, I don't care. Seriously, I'm sorry, Emily Cow. You live a very excited life. I wish I could send you stuff. I need an address. Well, I guess your address would be in the hospital if you're staying there. Yeah, this isn't very loud. I need like a speaker or something. Sorry. That stupid thing muted me. Yeah, it's not working. There, okay. So all the way up. All right.
Dr. Phil, a 22-year-old, found murdered in a vacant lot. Her nude body posed and bisected at the waist.
That had to have been a skilled surgeon.
The Black Dahlia remains one of the biggest unsolved.
So that makes me mad right there. He wrote a book about this, claimed it was his father, and he said it had to be a skilled surgeon. His now I'm finding out that his freaking dad wasn't even a surgeon. He was a general practitioner. What the hell? I don't know. Just makes me mad. I got a copyright strike. Damn it. Am I back to normal now? Welcome back. Damn. Oh well. Fine then. I'll find something else. Dr. Downer, right? F you, Dr. Phil. I didn't like you anyways. Well, basically that's the gist of it. Like what he was saying, all this stuff wasn't even true. His father isn't even a surgeon and just all this other crap. Whoa, 3 cases of violent poltergeist? I gotta see that. Oh god, of course these guys did it. The BuzzFeed Unsolved. Yeah, I hear you, Trio. Yeah, that's what I've been doing with a lot of this stuff, Deb. It's a pain in the ass, but I don't know. Do you know that at a like you literally get for a short, you get like 2 cents? Yeah. Even though I've got like what thousands of views on a few of them, 2,000 on another one, I get like 2 cents. I don't see points. I just don't. They're fun. This one's only 8 minutes. Hopefully we can watch it. Oopsie.
Enter the sandbox and choose who you want to be. From the artists you love listening to, IP.
So
That was
today
the
we're driving
Britney
to certain
Spears.
spots in Los Angeles as part of an ongoing series where I tell Mr. Brent here true crime stories.
Who's Brent? That's new. Was this 6 years ago? Yeah.
BuzzFeed Unsolved. Unsolved. Today's mystery is probably one of the most famous unsolved murder cases I've ever read. And enough with the pleasantries. Let's get into it. On January 15, 1947, the remains of 22-year-old Elizabeth Short, or as she is commonly known, the Black Dahlia, were discovered by Betty Bersinger on a morning stroll on the block of 3800 Norton Avenue in Los Angeles.
They make way too much. They're taking even more now. Like any super chat you get or super sticker, or there's now a thanks. So if you're watching people's shorts, you can tip them as a thanks. I've never done it, but you can, I think it, I don't even know. I think it's like $1 up, something like that. You can, but they take like 60% of that. We get what, 30% of what we make on here. Yeah. People have been telling me to go over to Twitch, but I'm not really too sure how to work that. He treated half of the Hollywood's STDs. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you don't get anything at all. So you should be able to get in the program because you make shorts and yours have made 1,000 of views. Yeah, I like BuzzFeed too. So they did go there with this other. I don't know who this other guy is. This would be interesting.
Angeles. The body was cut in half and so pale and thoroughly drained of blood that Betty Bersinger actually mistook it for a mannequin at first. The body was cut with surgical precision, leaving no trauma to internal organs or bones, and her face had been cut from her mouth towards her ears to form a haunting, ever-present smile. There was no blood on the ground, making it clear that the body was moved there after she was murdered. 9 days after Short's discovery, an envelope was received by the Examiner, addressed in horrific fashion using cutout letters clipped from movie ads. It read, Los Angeles Examiner and other Los Angeles papers. Here is Dahlia's belongings. Letter to follow. As promised, the envelope contained Short's social security card, birth certificate, snapshots, and an old address book with some pages missing. Gasoline was rubbed on the contents to remove the fingerprints.
Life hack right there.
What if it caught up in flames in transit? Do you think he was like sitting at his home nervous, thinking, oh, I really hope they got my letter? Many notes were sent to the case press that followed. One handwritten letter read, turning in Wednesday, January 29, had my fun with police. Black Dahlia, Avenger.
Or it could have just been some random person who had sent these letters, and it's not the killer.
Why would you pretend to be the killer?
Why would a killer kill someone in the first place?
Before arriving in LA, Elizabeth spent time in San Diego with a man named Robert Manley, who drove her to LA and helped her check into the Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. Many reports state that this is the last place that Short was seen alive. And like our old friend, the Cecil Hotel, the Biltmore is reportedly haunted. Hotel guests claim to have seen Elizabeth walking on the first floor in a black dress, only to disappear into a wall. She's also seen on the 10th and 11th floors.
No, absolutely not.
If I had the option to haunt a place until someone found out who murdered me, I think I would do that.
So if I step on a fly, does a fly...
Would you guys do that? I would. Let's just check and see at the comments.
Ghost stay around?
Well, I mean, this is assuming that a fly is capable of complex thought.
All right, what about a dog or a dolphin?
I don't think that's impossible that there could be a ghost dolphin or dog.
So you think somewhere along the line, evolutionarily, there was the first animal that was able to turn into a ghost and that somehow benefited them?
Oh my God. My cat Mo, he passed right before my son was born, a few days before he was born, actually. He still hangs out here. I have a picture of him as a ghost. I gotta find it though.
All right. Others state that after Manley left, the guy who dropped her off, Short headed to the
That was
nearby
Brad
Crown Grill
Manley.
Bar, which stands today as Club Galaxy. And that place is actually the true last sighting of the Dahlia, people claim.
It's a strip club? Was she a stripper?
No, it's not. It was always a strip club. Although this case has been officially listed as unsolved for nearly 70 years, there's no shortage of interesting suspects. But I'm only going to go over what are, in my opinion, the most interesting ones. The first suspect was Robert Manley, the guy who dropped her off at the Biltmore Hotel.
Ah, the Uber driver.
Yeah, it wasn't him
But
at
not
all.
only did he return to San Diego almost a week before her body was discovered, but he also passed a polygraph test. But it is worth noting that in 1954, he was committed to a mental hospital due to hearing voices. However, when administered sodium pentothal, which apparently is a truth serum, he was proven... I'm not fucking with that. It's literally what it is.
So they got fucking Snape on the line and said, hey, give us your truth serum. This is why
alcohol was truth serum, not whatever the hell he friggin' said. Oh my God, press play.
solved because they're working with 1947 technology.
Anyways,
He checks out.
he checks out. On to the next one. The second suspect was Army Corporal Joseph Dumays, who claimed to be blackout drunk with Elizabeth in San Francisco a couple days before her discovery. When asked if he thought he killed Elizabeth, he actually said yes, but evidence later showed that he was on his military base the day of her death. The final suspect is George Hodel. But before we begin, let's visit George's home at the time in LA. The house had a secret room where the children were not allowed to go, and nothing screams innocent like a secret room.
Wait, so
He
did the
never
children
do
know the
anything
secret room
serious.
they weren't allowed to go into?
This is where it gets interesting. So, George's son, Steve Hodel, who was 5 at the time of the Dahlia murder, later became a police investigator for 17 years, and after retiring from the force, became convinced that his father, George Hodel, had actually killed Black Dahlia. And looking at the facts, Steve Hodel makes a pretty compelling case. So, George Hodel was highly intelligent. He studied surgery in medical school and also ran LA County's venereal disease clinic, which would also suggest that he's capable
there you
of
go,
surgical
Tammy.
disembowelment and mutilation of Elizabeth Short's body that was found at the scene of the crime. Also, despite being a busy doctor,
He did do the venereal diseases and stuff, so yeah, he was probably fixing everybody in Hollywood treating their STDs.
George Hodel was also a busy bachelor, having 11 children from 5 different women.
Wait, this guy had 11 children with 5 different women.
Additionally, Steve Hodel also found pictures of a woman that appeared to be Elizabeth Short in one of his dad's photo albums. However, when examined by a forensic artist, the artist was 85%.
I'm sorry, I seen something about makeup. You got the okay, I heard about that. Is it any good, Tammy? Have you been in that hotel, Dragon Mom? Yes, it is, Tammy. I have heard that very much so. The Stanley Hotel. I'd love to go there. Probably cry like a baby though, if something happened.
Certain it wasn't Elizabeth in the pictures. But in 2014,
Yeah, there's
a
the photo I was telling you
different expert
about.
used facial recognition
There's
technology,
another one,
resulting
though,
in a
too.
90 to 95% match. But much like the other tests, the
No,
results
it's
were
not.
ultimately inconclusive. Steve also believed his father's handwriting was eerily similar to the handwriting of the Dahlia murderer, but when reviewed by experts, the results were mixed,
No.
with opinions ranging from probable to inconclusive. George Hodel was also accused by his own daughter of sexually assaulting her.
Oh,
but was
No.
found not guilty. Now here's where things get pretty fishy and suspicious, in my opinion. At some point, police officers did suspect George for killing the Black Dahlia and planted listening devices in his home. On tape,
That's a
George was
weird
heard
looking
saying,
home.
quote, "Supposing I did kill the Black Dahlia, they couldn't prove it now. They can't talk to my secretary anymore because she's dead," end quote.
He sounds like a 1950s
They
mobster.
can't talk to my secretary anymore because she's dead. She's dead, copper. Additionally,
Oh
he
my
also was
God,
caught
these
saying, "This is the
guys.
best payoff I've seen between law enforcement agencies, and I'd like to get a connection made in the DA's office." George's son also tracked down an LAPD
I'm playing this because I was hoping they would do like a ghost hunt or something.
case file that contained a female witness who stated George and Elizabeth knew each other. This strikes me as a really good time to tell you that the LAPD was notoriously corrupt around this time, which perhaps explains why the case was dropped, even though George was emerging.
What did you? It's so related to Nick Cannon. What? It's absolutely stunning. I got it off Poshmark. Only way. Yeah, exactly right. I know. I like going on there. I just wish things. I'm not gonna buy them anyways. Oh, you know what I really, really, really like, really, really love, and there is a few pairs I found, but I can't afford them, is, the Candies shoes, the mules, the ones with the studs on them. Oh my God, I'm obsessed. I love them. I wish I did find them on eBay. Um, thing is, they're just so expensive because 'cause they're from, like, the '70s and '60s, and it's like, oh my God, they're beautiful. My favorite shoes ever. He was secretly Mormon. Nick Cannon.
Is a clear suspect and would also explain why all physical evidence from the case has magically disappeared.
Wow.
This can mean a lot of things. Some believe that George paid off the police, while others believe that this is just a
He was
classic case of
broke.
police incompetence. But nobody knows
That's
for
the
sure.
thing. So I learned from reading this too that he was broke for that lawsuit he was in with his daughter. So he didn't have anything. He was actually seen selling shit off.
This isn't over, by the way. In 2012, the ever-vigilant Steve Hodel returned to his childhood home with a police dog that indicated the scent of human remains. Soil samples were taken from the alley behind the former Hodel house. They came
That
back
is a
positive for
weird
human
looking
remains as
house.
well. And while
I
this
don't
doesn't
like
link to the
it.
Dahlia murder directly because she wasn't buried, it does indicate that George Hodel was perhaps not the biggest stranger to murder. Even more fascinating, Steve Hodel would like to keep digging on the property, but since it's privately owned, he doesn't have permission to do so. And when trying to get the LAPD to follow up on this new evidence, they refused.
It seems like you're trying to say that the LAPD is still trying to cover this up, which to me is crazy.
No, not at
I
all.
don't know. I mean,
You can't just shrug and go, I don't know. No.
regardless, it seems that the famous case of the Black Dahlia will remain unsolved officially, but perhaps. I don't know where I'm going with this. I think I know who did it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not for the DA's office. Well, okay then. I didn't get booted for this, did I? Good. You like them too, Tammy? The shoes? Oh, they are fascinating. I don't know what it is. I actually went to this store called Payless, which is bullshit because you don't pay less, okay? So I went in there and I found a replica of Candy's shoes and I bought them. And I'm telling you, I wore the crap out of those babies. They were gorgeous. I just ran the tread right off of them, so I had to throw them out. You have an antique quilt fetish? Ooh, I like those too. I want those damn shoes. I have to show you what I'm talking about just real quick. Oh, gorgeous. I need the old ones though, not those. Oh yeah, these are some hot mother fudgers. Okay, I gotta show you these. Look, oh yeah. Yeah, you do with the pen rating. Twitch has its own censorship hell as well, but Discord has just made monetization. Really? That's awesome. I heard Twitch, you just need 50 subscribers or whatever the hell it is, and then you can get monetized. Yeah, I got you. You have to see these. Like, for instance, these ones and these ones and these ones I just love. Oh, and these are the ones, and these are the ones. Yeah, these sexy bitches. Those are gorgeous. Those ones too, I love. Aren't those pretty? Oh, birdies. That says, uh, there you go. Clark shoes. I don't want Clark shoes. I want candies. Yeah, I would totally buy these if I had the money, like, all of them, them. Oh, them as well, them. Those are nice. Wow. Yeah, okay, like, I have $1,000. No, those are nice. Those are Michael Kors. 258. Oh my God, I want those more. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here because if I don't, I'm gonna be drilling all night. Anyways, that was the shoes I wanted. Right? Those shoes are awesome. Yeah, I like pre-owned things too. Actually, I thought we had this in Canada, but apparently we don't. It's called Thread Up. I've actually got some clothing from the States from there, and they're all like brand new. I actually got my silver jeans, quite a few of them from the States at yeah, it's like a I don't even know what the hell it's called. Yeah, Mary Jane shoes are nice. Um, yeah, it's called Thread Up. Here, I'll show you the website. But I have ordered lots of things from there. They have really nice stuff. It's like a secondhand store. Uh, ooh, I want to see if they have any candies. Sure, I'll shop now with my fake money. Not canders, candies. No, not clothing. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Yeah, I've ordered from here before. I've got some really nice clothes. These are cute. Ooh, that's cute. I wonder, I've got a lot of Coach off here as well. They don't really have candies though. Those are nice. These ones here are Coach and they're 47.97. 19, sorry, 20% off size 8. Ooh, I like those. Those are 71. I don't know what the hell they're supposed to be, but they're ugly as hell. Those are awful. Meh. Ooh, those are cute. 7.5, perfect size. I have a lot of wristlets. Ooh, that one's nice. 71. I'd get it. That one's cute too. There you go, Dragon. There's some booties for you. Ooh, that's nice. Looking at the handbags. You wear kids' shoes? I have tiny feet, but they're very wide. Discord is improving and something to watch for in the future. I like the platform. Silver's telling you they really built it the way. Yeah, it is pretty cool. I don't really know how to work it. You've seen it advertised? Well, you guys in the States would definitely benefit. I mean, I can order these things, but I always got to pay extra tax, which I don't mind because I'm telling you, I got like some silver jeans, I got some Tommy Hilfiger jeans. I've got a pair of Liz Claiborne mules for like $8. Yeah, and I pay taxes on it, and honestly, I don't give a crap. Those are the ones that you almost have. I figured you'd like those. You can't find very many clothes. Try ThredUp. Like I said, you guys in the States won't have to pay the extra taxes, and everything is freaking cheap, and it goes right to your door. That's a good website. I really, really like it. I don't know, I might have to get some more stuff. I really want that purse, but I'm not paying that. There you go, Dragon. That's pretty much the same ones, isn't it? Yep. Those are really cute. Oh, those look comfy. I love thick ones. Jesus. Oh, those are sexy. I like those. And that red bag. So they're cute too. Oh. There, those are good. Okay, I want those. What size? Oh, they're size 10. Damn it. They'll never fit me. I hate flats. They're the most uncomfortable shoe ever. Yeah, they got everything. Holy. Yeah, I know they go fast. Trust me. I see the emails every time. Ah. Oh, so cute, the pink. That's a wristlet. That one, satchel. Actually, that's not bad. I really like those. Yeah, I'm horrible. I'd be on here all day just wishing. That's cute. I like that one too. Oh, it's a diaper bag. That's not bad for 106 at all. Mm, that was nice too. I'll help you, Dad. In private, give me your well, you'd know your taste. I'll help you out with this. And just I'm telling you, you'll love this website. Thick, thick Barney Rubble feet. And yeah, I've got really wide feet. I do, but they're so tiny. Like I wear 6.5 to 7, but I can't wear that because my feet are so damn wide. All right, 99, Tammy. I love pink. Yeah. I'm making you drool. Check out the website. Like I said, it's so cheap. Tell them I sent you. Just kidding. Oh, you got some stone feet too. Yeah, it looks like I ran into a brick wall. They're just not normal. What else do I got? Besides Coach. Um, ooh. Shop this look, this look, this. Oh my god, there's actual overalls. Those are so cute. I don't know. I'm gonna go to woman. Ooh, that is so cute. Yeah, it's an extra small. My boobs, no, they won't fit. There's some really cute stuff in here for really, see what I mean? It's 5.99, 17. This one's 34 for a jet. Ooh, it's done Diane Vaughn too. $10 for a pair of jeans. And they're Abercrombie and Fitch. Cute. Anne Klein. Oh, I love their perfume. That's cute. They have really cute things. I haven't been on in a while. I can have everybody freaking buying it off of here. All right, Bonita. Yes, it does make it difficult. That's why, like I said, my feet are like 6.5, 7, but because they're wide, I usually get like 7.5 to 8. Well, eight's usually too big. So I will get like if I get a heel that's not open toe, I get a 7.5. If I get open toe, I get a 7. And there's some really, really cute stuff. Check it out. That's probably what I'm gonna do now. Just look at it, pick out what I want, and then never buy it. It's usually what happens. No, I want to look for stuff on here for Leland. That is cute. I like that. That ever cute too. 7.99 for a dress. Wow. Love the flare jeans. Whoa, that were neat. They've got all sizes, small, medium, extra small, extra large. We were the same. Oh, wow. Yeah, I like to window shop, I tell you that. But if I can find it, I always find a deal in here. Like I haven't shopped actually. I haven't been on this website in, geez, probably a good year actually. The last time I got something from there was my two guest bags because they were $10 each. And then the Coach wristlet was like in the guest wallet that I got, they're all like $5, $10. I mean, that's incredible. I can't, and they're brand new. You can't get that shit around here. So I bought it all. So I got my pink Guess purse and then I got my light blue one. They're so pretty. And I'll go grab them and show you. They were like $10. Yeah, I just bought a couple. That was last year. And even I think the year before. Yeah, the first one I bought was this Liz Claiborne purse to go with the shoes I got. This one I think I paid $5 for. Yeah, it's cute. I like it. And then my favorite one, this one here. I got this one was $5 and it's a Guess purse. Excellent taste. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorites though. I really love this one. It's so cute. Can barely put anything in it, but whatever. I love it. And I got this one for $10. And then another one, this one I think was 10 or 15. I can't remember. Yeah, but I got them all from ThredUp and they're all brand new. And then I ended up getting a Coach wristlet. This one I got for I think it was $15.99. Yes. I have a huge purse too. Yeah, I have a huge purse and then it's crazy because it's so heavy, right? I don't know. I love stuff like this. Like in the summertime, there's a chip truck down my road. So I'll just take this with me with my little card in it. Too bad there wasn't money, but no, definitely not. Nothing. They're all empty. So yeah, there you go. There's some stuff that I've got from there. All the girly things. Coach and Guess and Liz Claiborne even got the shoes to go with the purse. I don't know. I thought it was fun. It was nice to get things that were yeah. I usually take my purse wherever I go. If I'm gonna go overnight somewhere, then I take my brown one. That one I got from Aldo. It's a nice leather one and it carries everything. I'm gonna have to go looking on here and see if I find anything else, and then just I don't know. I need to look for Lehman for sure. Crossbody bags, yeah. Oh yeah, I got another one I bought in there. That one's the crossbody bag. It's Guess, but it's got the little handles, but it's pretty big. I have that one too. And my Liz Claiborne shoes I got. They're the meals that look like candies. They're so cute. Hold on, I'll have to show you them. They're adorable. And then I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna try to get blah, and then I want to buy more. Okay, so I got these ones here, and these ones were 25.99, I believe. You know, cute things up. Aren't they adorable? These ones are the Liz Claiborne shoes I was telling you about. They're cute. I love them. Oh, I can't wait till spring. Apparently, the end of March is supposed to be spring. It's funny, my kid will come in here every now and then, and I'll be on Amazon, but I don't buy, like, clothing or anything from there. I always buy from this site. I just haven't done it in so long. So what are you doing? You on Amazon? Now he's gonna see this. You're back at that again. Yeah, but I'm looking for you. All right, I'm gonna get off of here before I bore you guys to death because I can look at this stuff all night. My Canada Goose got snowed on. Just don't eat them. They're still there. Yeah, they won't come back for a while. Probably end of April, maybe, if that. All right, I'm gonna get off of here. I gotta check out this website for boys' clothes. You like all those, Trio? Yeah, it's a good site. They have a lot of great men's clothing and okay, our geese are very mean. They'll chase you too. Like they're always at our beaches, so whenever I'm there, we know to stay the hell away from them. You go anywhere near them, and they literally will. They'll bite you. It hurts like a bitch, from what I'm told. Sometimes that all makes good outfit, right? I think so too. I don't know. I was looking at it. I'm like, geez, I wonder how much all this stuff is. And you go down here. Yeah, stuff I would wear. I like that. I like that as well too. That one's cute. Actually, that one's really cute too. There's a whole bunch of brands. They have Lululemon if you guys are not. I hate it. But okay, I'm out of here. Geese are demons. The swans are even worse. Yeah, with them damn necks, they whack. Oh yeah, beautiful to look at. Yeah, ducks are cute. My neighbor used to have a duck. She moved, but yeah, she had a duck, and it didn't like anybody near his mom, which was the owner of the duck, and the damn thing would literally bite your feet because if you're anywhere near his mom. He was so cute though, so every time I went over, I was like, "Okay, I can't believe you have a damn who has a duck?" Then again, I had baby chickens. They were my sons for a while. Alright, you guys have a good night. I'm out of here for a bit. I'll be shit, I don't know. I don't have anything planned for tomorrow. I'm sure I'll be on though. Me and Great Dane Mom are gonna do a live together on the Myrtles plantation. I'm thinking next week. Probably Wednesday. I don't know. I feel like a Wednesday is always good for us, but we're gonna do that, and then tomorrow, probably watch the Black Dahlia movie actually. All right, you guys have a good night. I'll be back. Bye.